The hypocrisy continues, and karma's a bitch. Dante's Boxing Nation, what's going on, guys? Yep. So, to no one's surprise, at least not to my surprise, after what happened in the Marquez debacle, Mr. Manny Pacquiao has went from mob boss to the lead informant. States evidence, if you guys understand that analogy. Basically, this man is completely on the other side of the fence. Let me go ahead and make this shit clear right now, man. For the last 3 years, the negotiations have been pushed for Mayweather and Pacquiao to have this fight. Now we know, with no doubt, we know that it wasn't Mayweather's fault that this fight never happened. It was completely Manny Pacquiao's fight that this fight never happened. It was Manny Pacquiao and it was Bob Arum's fault why this fight never took place. Okay? This news of Manny Pacquiao or Team Pacquiao requesting for Usada is one of the biggest contradictions that I've been talking about in all my videos. This is one of the biggest ones, right? Night and day, man. Completely night and day. I mean, Manny Pacquiao, this is a man who went from saying, I'm afraid of needles, okay? He went from saying, I'm afraid of needles, to saying, there's no way I'm going to take, random drug tests within 2 weeks of the fight. Now, all of a sudden, he's all in, he's all for it, okay? Manny Pacquiao, like I said, this whole negotiation situation, he has been completely inconsistent with his reasoning why this fight never happened. Meanwhile, everything that Floyd Mayweather has been saying when it comes to getting this fight made, Floyd Mayweather has stood with the exact same story. His story never changed. Floyd Mayweather was completely consistent throughout all of the negotiations that took place for this fight. All right? Manny Pacquiao is a complete hypocrite. And we know now that it's completely his fault why this fight never happened. Maybe the fight will happen now, but we now know. There should be no more people sending messages, saying ridiculous shit like, oh, why did Mayweather run from Pacquiao? Get the fuck out of here with that ridiculous talk. The very first negotiations in 2010 that Floyd Mayweather and Pacquiao came up with was a 50-50 split on all the money, all the pay-per-view, right? Manny Pacquiao had his stipulations. Floyd had his stipulations. Floyd Mayweather, he met Manny Pacquiao's demands of the weight issues and all of that, and Manny Pacquiao could not meet Floyd Mayweather's demands, okay? And that's why the first fight never happened, because Manny Pacquiao did not want to take a drug test. And I think that probably surprised the shit out of Manny. He never thought anybody would ask a question like that when he was fucking doing this shit, right? So, so that's the reason why the first fight didn't happen, okay? The second fight, the second time they negotiated, Floyd Mayweather, he found out by looking at, Manny Pacquiao's records of income that Manny didn't make anywhere near as much money as he did. So Floyd Mayweather, he said, I'll give you $40 million. Pacquiao turned that shit down, fought Tim Bradley for $12 million, right? I mean, karma's a bitch, right? Karma's a bitch. Everything that Manny Pacquiao has been doing has been biting him in the ass, okay? He loses to Tim Bradley, and Tim Bradley, the guy who would normally run the other way if he got a gift decision, instead he says, let's make the rematch. Manny Pacquiao, the guy who would normally say, I want my title back, I want the rematch, he avoided it. And what did he do? He thought he would have an easier chance fighting Marquez, because at least if he fights Marquez, if he loses, he could fight him again. He already has a record of beating Marquez, so he could fight him again. It doesn't really matter. He went over there and he caught another case of karma. Got his ass whooped, right? Got his ass chewed, basically, knocked the fuck out, right? Then Manny Pacquiao, he did, like I said before, he didn't want to give Bradley a shot, right? He didn't want to give Bradley a rematch at his own title that he lost. He chose Marquez. Now all of a sudden, Marquez doesned want to give him a fight. Now it's Pacquiao that's left out in the cold, because Pacquiao he wanted to either fight Bradley or Marquez, right? See how quick things change? One minute Manny Pacquiao, he's refusing to do a drug test. And he's the reason why the biggest fight of all time never happened, because he refused to do a drug test. All right, so 1 minute he's refusing to do it. 3 years later, when he thinks it works in his benefit, now he's all for it, right? 1 minute, Manny Pacquiao, he doesn't want a rematch with Tim Bradley. After Tim Bradley, fucking goes through a fucking all-out war with Provodnikov, now all of a sudden, Manny Pacquiao, he wants the rematch, right? And now he's the one left out. He wanted if he couldn't get Marquez, he wanted Bradley, right? Now Marquez and Bradley are fighting each other, and Pacquiao is left out in the cold, and he's forced to fight a young lion, who I feel has a chance of upsetting the favorite. Okay? So let me go back and let me get back to this drug test situation. All right. Now, with this drug test situation, there's a lot of shit to talk about. For all the fans, man, all the fans that continuously said, who does Floyd Mayweather think he is to try to dictate the terms, and who does he think he is? He's not the sport of boxing, asking for drug tests and all of this stupid ass talk, right? Bob Arum leading the charge, telling everybody the same thing. Who does he think he is? He can't be, demanding this and demanding that. Bob Arum was one of the first people, I should say, after the Marquez fight to say, we want drug testing. But before, in 2010, Bob Arum was all against it, along with Team Pacquiao. Let me tell you how fucking crazy the shit got when it comes to defending Manny Pacquiao. HBO's Jim Lampley and Larry Merchant, two of the most biased commentaries of all time, and I don't even think that's debatable, all right, of all time, they actually sat there because they loved Manny Pacquiao and they hated Floyd Mayweather, and they hated a lot of people who fought like Floyd Mayweather. They actually defended Manny Pacquiao possibly taking steroids, right? I'm serious. They defended him possibly taking it. Instead of them saying stuff like, I don't believe he's on it. I don't believe he would hurt the sport like that and and embarrass himself and whatever the case may be. They didn't deny that he's on it. They actually defended if he was on it, right? You don't believe me? There was a radio show that Larry Merchant was on about a year or two ago. I don't remember the radio show. I think it was Real Boxing Talk or something like that. But the archives, I think, may still be there. But yeah, they asked him about Manny Pacquiao and the drug test situation, and Larry Merchant, he had the nerve to say, hey, even if he is on steroids, what is the proof of you fighting better just because you're on steroids? Just because you're on steroids, it doesn't mean that you're going to fight better. I knew other fighters that were on steroids, and they didn't fight as good as Manny Pacquiao. This is what Larry Merchant said. Fuck the fact that we trying to clean the sport up, right? Fuck the fact we're trying to clean the sport up. Steroids, it doesn't make a difference. It doesn't make a difference. So just take the goddamn fight and stop fucking whining, Floyd Mayweather, is what Larry Merchant basically said. So he had no problem with Floyd taking steroids. As far as Larry is concerned, it doesn't matter who takes steroids, right? Now let me go into Jim Lampley. Now Jim Lampley, same situation. Jim Lampley was on a radio show, I believe it was in Canada. Now this was about a year ago, and I believe someone else had actually dropped the video, and unfortunately, I downloaded it because it was very incriminating type of evidence. So I downloaded and kept it on my computer a long time ago, and then my computer fucking crashed and I lost it. But I think they removed it. I think they completely removed it, from existence after it was leaked out. Like I said, someone had it on their video, and I think he had to remove his video. But anyway, Larry Merchant did an interview in Canada, I believe, and he was defending if Manny Pacquiao... the thing is, Larry Merchant and Jim Lampley, they made it sound as if they knew Manny was possibly on steroids. So what did Jim say? He said, hey, this is ridiculous. For people to think that steroids really make you fight better. He made this dumbass analogy. He said if a singer gargles some type of Listerine or some type of strong substance before they sing, is that the credit? Is that who you credit to them singing good? The chemicals that they gargle? No, that person was a great singer anyway. And he went on for a long time making these funny type of analogies to defend Manny Pacquiao possibly being doped up or juiced, right? And it was, like I said, in this article or this interview on the radio, this shit disappeared like a fucking conspiracy theory, okay? They were defending this man, right? Defending him at a time when Floyd Mayweather said, now my eyes are open. Now that I know someone would be crazy enough to turn down $100 million, $50 million, just because they're trying to avoid a drug test. You know what? From this point on, I'm having everybody tested. This is what Floyd Mayweather says. From this point on, I'm having everyone tested. And guess who Jim Lampley gives the credit to when drug testing starts to look like a norm? He gives the credit to Nonito Donaire. He gives the credit to fucking Nonito Donaire, talking about we got to give credit to Nonito Donaire for doing year-round testing and trying to keep the sport clean, when just a year ago, before he said that on his show, he was defending a guy for taking steroids and condoning steroid use. I mean, this shit is all hypocritical, man. HBO should be ashamed for allowing Jim Lampley and Larry Merchant to damn near be borderline racist, biased commentators, and it cost them dearly because now Showtime is running the fucking show. Showtime kicked HBO's ass when Danny Garcia fought Zab Judah, and they kicking their ass right now. They got the old era and they got the new era type fighters. From Floyd to Broner to Canelo, the list goes on, and it's all because of Jim Lampley and fucking Larry Merchant, who are a bunch of fucking biased hypocrites, So, yeah, man. The bottom line is, Floyd Mayweather, he deserves tremendous credit for incorporating everyone to start to use Olympic-style drug testing, okay? I mean, the thing is, he may not get all the credit now, but I assure you he's going to get the credit. Just like Muhammad Ali didn't get all the credit he deserved when he was fighting. He was hated, man. He was hated by the government and by a lot of people. Now, Ali is America's biggest icon, okay? Loved worldwide. And Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather is starting to become the same way. I'm going to tell you guys something right now. And if you guys start to notice, look in the crowd when Floyd Mayweather's fighting, you seeing people from Japan in the crowd, a whole bunch of people from Japan. And I'm going to tell you something right now. I know it sounds crazy, but when you got Japanese people in the crowd flying all the way from Tokyo, just to cheer every single time Floyd Mayweather throws a punch, that Floyd Mayweather is huge. Because the last person I can remember, outside of Pacquiao, of course, the last person I can remember having, Japanese people in the crowd is Mike Tyson. The Japanese used to love Mike Tyson. And now you're starting to see it with Floyd Mayweather. 36 years old, the best fighter in the world, the man who's responsible for Olympic-style drug testing. I mean, can this man do any wrong? Okay? Can this man do anything wrong? He has changed the sport while at the same time maintaining dominance for 17 years. Like I said, you can hate Floyd Mayweather all you want, but you can't name me one fighter who has been here for 17 years in their late 30s and is still beating young champions. No matter what you want to say about the champions, you cannot name me one fighter. That's why Floyd Mayweather is so special. That's why he's the best of his era, and that's why he'll be compared to the greatest of all time fighters. Okay? So this is all I got to say on this one, guys. I'm on to the next one.